안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Friday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon-Soo-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from K-entertainment to K-trends, K-people, and today, a special focus on K-art and K-movies. And all of that together with our Friday co-host, Bella Kim. Bella, you're not anymore the Tuesday, Thursday co-host, or yes, not the TT co-host anymore.
Not anymore.
So beginning with the new year, you're here on Thursdays and Fridays, right?
That's right. So I'll be here every Thursdays and Fridays to co-host to, end the week off with the Culture Wave. And for today's K-entertainment, we're fully packed with K-pop stories. So stick around for that coming up very soon.
All right, and we're also joined today by our news features reporter, Iani. Hello, Iani.
Hi,
Hello,
Iani.
everyone. It's good to see you and Happy New Year.
Right, Happy New Year, because I guess it's your first in-studio appearance in the new year.
Yes, it is, and it really feels like still Happy New Year for me, so I'm very happy to be here.
All right, and I wonder what the new year holds for us when it comes to K-art, because that is our topic for today. And the figures are looking pretty good because the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in South Korea saw a record high number of foreign visitors last year. Could you tell us more?
Yes, of course. So the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in South Korea, or we can call it the MMCA, has been seeing a steady rise in the number of international visitors, reaching a record high last year. And so it even surpassed the pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels. So for further insight on this trend, I went to the museum, spoke with foreign visitors, and also had a discussion with staff about the future of the Korean art industry. Let's all take a closer look.
Amid increasing global interest in Korean art, the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art achieved a milestone in 2024, welcoming more than 220,000 foreign visitors. The record number of visitors was also driven in part by the increasing influx of international tourists to South Korea. The figure is a 6% increase compared to 2023 and a 36% rise compared to 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic.
In 2024, the highest number of international visitors came from the US, accounting for around 27% of the total, followed by European countries at over 26%, China with nearly 20%, and then Japan and Southeast Asia. Let's hear what foreign visitors have to say about Korean arts and culture and what particularly impressed them.
We have a friend where we come from in the United States who is Korean and is an artist, a very successful artist, and she recommended specifically that we come here, and I think we like it very much.
I was very surprised actually by the cost. It's very affordable and very accessible to everyone, which I think is a really positive thing and very different from the States. Museums can be very expensive and very costly.
One of the standout exhibitions from last year, Back to the Future, at the Seoul branch, attracted 50,000 international visitors, showcasing contemporary Korean art and works collected from 2018 to 2022.
I came here also to experiment the Korean country in general, but also since I'm also working for a gallery, the idea for me was to look closer at what we could do with Korean art, what kind of collaboration we could do with the gallery that I'm working for.
The MMCA is also expanding internationally and plans more overseas exhibitions to showcase Korea's rich culture.
Last year, the museum held exhibitions in the United States and Taiwan, and this year it will expand further with exhibitions in Singapore, China, Japan, and Italy. The MMCA anticipates continued growth in its international presence in the years to come.
The increase in foreign visitors is also being attributed to efforts to enhance services for international audiences. Last February, the museum launched an English language newsletter and produced short-form content with English narration and subtitles. The museum also introduced Welcome to MMCA, an educational program for foreign residents, and established a foreign supporter program offering personalized services through social media in 20 languages. The English language newsletter will soon introduce a new section, in-depth interviews with Korean artists, to provide a closer look at Korean creators. Set to launch in March, this new content aims to bring Korean artists closer to a global audience.
It is really great to see Korean art steadily growing. Now, in your report, you mentioned the 4 branches of the museum here in the country. Could you introduce them to us?
Yes, so there are 4 branches across the country that are all definitely worth visiting. So the first one, which is the one I've been to, is the Seoul branch, and it's located in the heart of Seoul in Jeonju district, and it's known for its dynamic exhibitions and educational programs. There's one more branch located in Seoul in the historic Deoksugung Palace, which is also in the center of the city. And the third one is located in Gwacheon City, Gyeonggi-do Province, which is just outside of Seoul. And the last but not least is the Jeonju City branch, which of course also focuses on variety of exhibition and is also surrounded by beautiful nature of landscapes. And each of these locations offers a distinctive experience of Korean contemporary art. So depending on your interest and travel plans, you're sure to find a great exhibition to explore.
So 4 different places. It's wonderful that visitors can visit those regions and also enjoy the museum as well. Now the new year has begun. Is there any exhibitions that we could look forward to?
Yeah, so actually starting in May, the MMCA's Seoul and Gwacheon branches will be holding a permanent exhibition, and big part of the exhibition will include a major showcase of the Igoni collection. Igoni collection consists over 1,000 artworks and cultural artifacts that were donated to the nation by Samsung's former chairman Igoni's family after his passing in 2020. And so the Igoni collection is the largest cultural donation in the country's history, and sometimes it has been called the donation of the century, due to its immense historical and artistic value. And there's another good news, which is this collection for the first time will be exhibited in the United States starting in November.
Oh, so for those in the U.S., including Korean residents who are living there, this will be a great opportunity to really delve into these masterworks. So thank you very much, Inni, for sharing this coverage.
Thank you, Inni.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.
Time for some K-entertainment news with Bella Kim. Bella, we are going to have a number of K-pop stories today. The keyword is K-pop. And first, you will talk about a boy group, Stray Kids, and they achieved a big milestone.
That's right. So they have achieved big milestone. Stray Kids have started the new year strong, hitting #1 on 2 of the major Billboard album charts for 3 straight weeks with their latest release, Hap. According to Billboard's official website, on January 7th, Stray Kids' album Hap, released last month, topped the top album sales and top current album sales charts for the week ending on January 11th. The group entered both charts at #1 on December 28th and maintained that position since then. And this marks the first time Stray Kids achieved 3 consecutive weeks at the top of these charts, making them the second K-pop group ever to do so after BTS. And now we have some exciting news for Stray Kids fans. Stays. Stray Kids will hold Stray Kids' 5th fan meeting, Skids 5 o'clock, from February 14th to 16th at Incheon Inspire Arena. And the fan meeting will also be streamed online through the Beyond Live platform. The group will also meet their global fans as they continue with their world tour, Dominate.
Exciting news for Stray Kids fans. And we will continue with another boy group topping the chart.
Yes, that is right. When we talk about the boy group Tuos, the first song that pops into our head is 첫 만남은 너무 어려워, their debut song Plot Twist. Well, Tuos topped the 2024 Malin Award annual awards with this song, and this rank is actually based on the number of streams and downloads on Melon from January 1st to December 31st of 2024. The last group to top this chart with their debut song was Missy with Bad Girl, Good Girl.
Wow, that seems like a long time ago.
It was 14 years ago, yes. And Tuos is also just about to reach their 1st anniversary, and they will be holding their first fan meeting in Seoul and Tokyo in February and also in March.
Can't believe it's been a year since they made their debut. It still seems like the 첫 만남.
Yes,
so the
it does. First meeting.
time that we're meeting them. Now, for our last story, we stay on the topic of K-pop. What is it?
Yes, we're going to move on to SM Group now. SM Entertainment will be holding SM Town Live 2025 Seoul concert to commemorate its 30th anniversary. The concert will be held at Kulture Sky Dome in Seoul this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and it will be also broadcasted live worldwide on global platforms Beyond Live and Weverse. Most of SM artists will participate, including BoA, TVXQ, Super Junior, Red Velvet, as well as legendary artists, including Tonian of HOT and Pada of SES. And the highlight of SM Town Live is always the collaboration between the artists. So the fans are definitely looking out for that this year concert as well.
So am I. And I also heard that SM is going to release an album marking the 30th anniversary.
That is correct. In honor of SM Entertainment's 30th anniversary, it will be releasing a celebratory album with remake tracks of their artists' hit songs. And on January 6th, SM pre-released one of the tracks, Rise's remake of TVXQ's Hug, which is playing right now. Hug was TVXQ's debut song released back in 2004. And the remake track adds Y2K-inspired aesthetics and trendy sounds to the original track, creating this neutral vibe, which means new plus retro. The rest of the album will be showcased for the first time at SM's 30th anniversary concert, SM Town Live 2025.
Looking very much forward to the concert as well as the album. Thank you very much, Bella, for those news.
My pleasure.
And now it's time to go over to our AI anchor, Ari, for other culture-related news.
Welcome to the Culture Wave AI News. Let's get started with today's top story. UNESCO is set to decide within the first half of this year whether to inscribe the Jeju April 3rd uprising on the Memory of the World list. Korea's UNESCO committee submitted the Jeju April 3rd archive for consideration in 2023. It contains nearly 15,000 documents and audiovisual materials chronicling the tragic events that occurred 7 decades ago that shed light on the uprising, civilian massacres, state violence, and post-World War II ideological conflicts. The Jeju April 3rd incident was a violent suppression of a civilian uprising against U.S. military-led rule, following Korea's liberation from Japan. Books by Nobel laureate Han Kang continue to dominate bestseller lists in the new year. According to Kyobo Book Center's rankings for the first week of January, Han's novels claim the top spots, with Human Acts holding the #1 position for the 10th consecutive week, followed by The Vegetarian and We Do Not Part. This literary surge, fueled by Han's Nobel Prize win, has eclipsed the usual popularity of self-help books at the start of the year. Among them, 2025 K Consumer Trend Insights was the only title to break into the top 10, ranking 5th. Tonight, Sokcho City in Gangwon-do Province will unveil Korea's first and largest scale media art installation on the sandy shore. Titled Sea of Light, Sokcho, the installation offers a multi-sensory experience with a variety of lighting displays aligned to the theme. It showcases the city's natural beauty, where the ocean meets the mountains, and features various other themes, such as Garden of Light and Color Waves. The media art display will run every Friday and Saturday night, starting tonight, with 30-minute shows at the top of each hour. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more cultural updates and engaging discussions coming your way.
Following some challenges in year 2024 in the film industry, fewer movies are expected to be released in 2025 compared to recent years. Now today, we'll have a preview of what we can really expect in the K-movie sector and look into ways to possibly boost the industry. And we will do that with our movie expert, Jae So, professor and filmmaker at Seoul Institute of the Arts. Welcome, Professor So.
Hello,
Nice to be
Professor.
back.
And
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, we do hope that it's also going to be a happy year for the film industry. But amid the ongoing box office slump, I don't know if I should call it a slump, but some challenges last year, fewer Korean films are expected to be released this year compared to past years. But let's start with the latest movies that are out and that are doing well. So which productions are making waves right now?
Well, the biggest box office draw, even though a lot of people aren't going to see movies, it seems like the news is more exciting nowadays. But it's Harbin, which is which is a historical drama based on sort of a freedom fighter, you know, when we were under the Japanese occupation. As of today, I think it's about something like 3.87 million people have gone to see this movie, so it's doing really well. I went to see it. It was kind of an epic movie that spans the whole era where Japanese occupation. Our hero is like going through all this desert and different really exotic locales. And then the second movie that's sort of it rounded off last year really nicely is Firefighters, which also is about 3.6 million people went to see this movie, and this is Kwak Kyung-taek, the director's movie. He hasn't made a movie in a long time, but from Friend, which was like a big hit, and also, unfortunately, you know, I like Song Joong-ki, but Bogota, the City of the Lost, it didn't do as well, but you know, comes in third. So. Sort of like the movies that are happening now, unfortunately, is overshadowed by what's happening politically and culturally in Korea right now. So
I see.
Hope it changes soon.
Yes, hopefully. And we did hear about some of the lineups. But given these lineups of Korean films in 2025, what do you see as a trend in movies for the year of 2025?
I think it's going to continue on from 24, which was basically horror movies, occult movies, and then comedies. You know, I think there was a trend towards a lot of crime movies and thrillers and science fiction in previous years, but of course they had bigger budgets. And what the more successful movies that happened in 24 is sort of the small scale of movies with mid-sized budgets. And so I think that trend's going to continue. So this year we have a huge lineup of movies coming out. So the biggest one is, I think the two directors, Bong Joon-ho, he has a movie that he made with Warner Brothers called Mickey 17 that's coming out. Also, director Park Chan-wook's made another film. It's called No Other Choice. And this has Lee Byung-hun and Son Hye-jin, like the two big stars in Korea. So, you know, since Decision to Leave, this is like second film. And then we have a whole slew of occult movies that are coming out. So some are called, these are titles that I would say in English, it's Holy Night Demon Hunters. So that has from Roundup Ma Dong-seok in it. And so this is another one. And then also Dark Nuns, which has Song Hye-kyu. This is like there's a movie with Kang Dong-won called Priest that came out. So it's an exorcism movie now with nuns. And then we also have an animation coming out, which is called Exorcism Chronicles: The Beginning. So a lot of occult stuff happening. But at the same time, we have the actor Ha Jung-woo is making his fourth film. It's called Upstairs Neighbors. And so that's a black comedy. And also we have a movie that's coming out that many of them are sort of comedies that sort of like, I think last year we rounded it up with Pilot and Handsome Guys, movies like this. So there's a whole slate of comedy movies about to come out as well.
I hope there is going to be lots to laugh in this year.
I think we need some humor.
Yes, at least through the movies. Now, Professor, last year, Korean films gained a relatively large share at the box office compared to foreign movies. So do you think this trend is also going to continue?
Yeah, it's an unusual thing. Usually Hollywood movies sort of either do, like 50% of the box office. But last year they were kind of destroyed by the Korean film industry, because I think one of the things that people don't realize is because during the pandemic, many films went into production, and there was a rumor that there was like 80 to 90 films that were completed that hadn't found release. So that's why there was so many Korean films last year that came out. And so I think that's the thing. And I think, but this year, you know, there's a stiffer competition. So Hollywood has a bunch of Marvel movies that are coming out, the Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and also Avatar 3 is coming out, and the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, I don't know what the number is, but you know, his movie's coming out. So we're gonna have stiffer competition, but I think what's gonna be interesting is the movies that are coming out, as I mentioned in the slate of movies before, you know, all these from CJ to Lotte to Showbox, the local sort of producers are making a lot of headway in terms of creating a lot of new content for 2025.
All right. Looking out for that as well. And you briefly talked about the two films that we're going to dip into. Two of Korea's most renowned director, Bong Joon-ho and Park Chan-wook, are set to release Mickey 17 and also No Other Choice. And in fact, this Friday, actually, we hear Mickey 17 is set to premiere in Korea next month on February 28th. Why are these two films getting so much attention? I know they're, you know, two big names, but
Yes.
Is there any other reasons as well?
Well, as you said, you know, Bong Joon-ho, this is his next film after Parasite, so it's been a while. He's already had this movie made last year, but I think Warner Brothers wanted to release it a little later. And so this is based on a science fiction novel called Mickey 7. They changed the title a little bit. And it's sort of about a clone, and it has big stars like Robert Pattinson, Stephen Yeun, Toni Collette. So I think it's interesting that after he made a Korean movie and made it like a big hit in the world, Parasite, he's gone to Hollywood now. He's working with a lot of Western actors, which he already did in Okja. So now we're looking forward to that. And then director Park Chan-wook, of course, he's the other heavy hitter. And his last film was Decision to Leave, which had Tang Wei. It was a really good film. In this one, this is based on The Axe. It's a novel about, basically, it's a horror thriller about somebody who loses his job and then starts to go into a rampage about trying to find the next job. And he's kind of changed the title to No Other Choice based on that novel. But in this story, Lee Byung-hun plays a character who has a really good family. Son Hye-jin is his wife, has 2 kids, stable family, and suddenly he loses his job of 25 years. And then what happens next? So we're really looking forward to the two directors who are sort of the columns, the pillars of Korean cinema, sort of doing their next work. Yeah.
Right, and I think it's also very significant that we hear the movie Mickey 17 is going to come out on February 28th, because that's going to be around a week before the rest of the world can watch it. So now we have the date. We're looking forward to those, and we wish that 2025 will be a great year in the movie industry. Now, there are some pessimists saying that there might be another, many challenges coming up. But Professor So, how do you really see this year in the movie industry, and what are some obstacles that we maybe could overcome?
Well, I don't want to harp on the same topic again, but Korea is going through some struggles right now. We have a president that's in the process of being impeached. There's people trying to arrest him. It's almost like a drama, as I mentioned before.
Right.
Like, people are talking about sending a special squad to get him, things like that. So I think right now the news is much more exciting than movies. But pretty soon, I think in 25, this will be settled. We'll have a new regime. Hopefully, it'll be more stable, and I think people will come back to see movies. I think movies are sort of representatives of people's zeitgeist of the moment. I think Koreans are they're struggling because there's instability, politically and socially, and so movies aren't exactly there to sort of excite people. But I think once this drama is over, I think people are going to come back to movies, and I think the fact that it's going towards occult movies or horror movies and comedies is a sense of sort of giving people a sense of relief from all this kind of hardship that they're going through right now.
So it looks like really what happens in the society has also a lot to do with how people consume content. So I think that's really interesting, and we do hope that if politically things are more settled, we will also have more people go to the theaters and watch some quality movies.
I hope so too.
Yes, so thank you very much, Professor So. See you next time.
Thank you,
My pleasure.
Professor.
And thank you very much, Bella. We'll see you back next week, so have a great weekend.
Yes, have a good weekend.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. Have a great weekend, and join us again next week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Korea time, and maybe one day here in Korea.